Bonk at your meow meow. Bonk at your meow meow. Bonk at meow. Bonk chicken meow meow. Bonk chicken meow meow. Bonk chicken meow meow. Meow meow meow. Bonk chicken meow meow. I'm done. That's for Dumbell. Now, this video may take me a little over to Deon. I think it was an hour just to do some research, give or take, yes, about the problems of the problem with AI on TikTok and YouTube, even though I didn't get the title right, since that was Dumbell's message that he basically typed out for me on a live stream before to bed, and I appreciate his company, and to whomever this boy or person is named Tyler and whatnot, right? Anyone else that wants to show support on my live stream since I'm going through a difficult time right now, there are two YouTubers that I wanted to mention. And by the way, the reason why I want to talk about the public of AI because there's a 20-year-old Australian asexual boy, right? Whom I was a little intimidated by because his video is really good. I didn't see the one that has over 60,000 views of how he basically exposed a channel that basically posts every day that is run by AI. I definitely highly suggest this channel. I forgot the name. I think it was Slime something. I forgot the name of it. I just know it has 9K in the end. Okay? Basically, these two YouTubers, right? The first one, whom does have a TikTok, so I'm sure Ray does as well, is named Sambucha. By the way, I kind of think he's kind of cute, just to be honest. That has 4.3 million followers. The thing is, basically, and this is his criticism, okay? The problem I have with the videos, or if I could just give you a demonstration for the first one, right? I might need to put this on pause. It's going to take some time to do some editing.
These are some food changes you probably haven't noticed. So Pop-Tarts have decreased the amount of frosting used, especially on the edges. Little Debbie cakes have also shrunk significantly in size over the past decade, with less cream filling used. Breyers changed their name on the packaging away from ice cream and now says frozen dairy dessert since it has too little milk fat or too many stabilizers to be considered ice cream. While Capri Sun now just says natural flavors instead of actually listing the fruits, since it's often less than 10% real juice in many.
The reason why I like to show that little clip, because I have been watching half of his videos, is because they're really educated and informed and really funny to watch, especially with his catchphrase of pretty good, right? Because of how I've learned so much based off of his TikTok videos. But the one thing of Exhibit B that I may feel a little mech towards basically his views, because his comments called him out for. He's not an awful person, okay? It's just to be aware of people that you may be watching, or let's just say viewing on YouTube, that you enjoyed hearing educational U shorts, which basically, to abbreviate, YouTube shorts, okay? So here is, or a presents of me demonstrating Exhibit B.
Here's some unethical life hacks that you definitely shouldn't do. So if you're driving with an illegal substance, you can technically put it in a sealed box with your address on it since cops can't legally open your mail. If you get a speeding ticket, there's a 90% chance the officer won't attend court, and if they do, you can ask them about the last time their radar was calibrated, which usually disqualifies any reading.
Oh dear, I just noticed that Deon, what you've seen is the female cop, her eyes look really red as though she was drugged out with, let's just say, ecstasy. Have any of you noticed that? Again, this is not to shame Sambucha. I just want to call this out because pardon me, it just barked a little bit inside my mouth, that he basically does this in some of his videos when he basically does use AI, which basically means artificial intelligence, which if it's up is to screen everything. That was supposed to be invented by a group of people, but it was funded by John McCarthy, whom basically started out at some Dartmouth workshop, which is a place where people discuss about AI. It's really interesting of how far we are when it comes to YouTubers that do stuff like this, right? And basically, this is supposed to be an example of, let's just say, human AI images that does feel a little bit uncanny, even though people do this for educational reasons. This is supposed to be an example of what I've been seeing on Sam's videos lately, right? And also some others he did about buying AI merch, so to speak, online. His viewers basically want to request him to buy as a home experiment, so to speak.
If you buy a super cheap ticket to a sporting event, you can actually check the ticket site while you're there to see better seats available that were never purchased.
There's blood on that man's shorts, by the way. Also, I just had to make his voice in 69 slow motion nice, okay? Because, I don't know, he kind of sounds hot that way for some reason. But the thing is, basically, it's ironic how Sam would use these images, right? Because the thing is, I want people to thinking that, oh, if you basically go to Deon, I think it's supposed to be Okay, I don't live in the Northeast, so isn't it supposed to be New York Giants if it's football? I'm not sure what their basketball team is because it says Ricks on it. It's supposed to mean Knicks, right? Because the R basically has both. I don't know. Okay, that's not how you spell K, if I'm correct, right? But the thing is, what distracted me, and by the way, it's so difficult to edit throughout all this because I don't want to act as though I have to be doing CEO speech on this video. I just wanted to speak how I feel. It's just so ironic how he used an image of a white guy, right? That basically has blood all over his body. And yet, there is this white man that look similar to one another. They look like replicas. Also, what's with the socks in the bottom right corner? You know, that you could definitely tell it's AI because they look uncanny.
Just allowing you to move up. If you work from home, you can technically outsource your job for cheaper overseas, creating a spread in which you can apply for domestic jobs and hold multiple at once without lifting a finger. If you want to eat free, you can walk into a hotel lobby during continental breakfast or walk into open houses for snacks and drinks. The live listening feature on AirPods allows you to secretly record any conversation so long as your phone is in the room. And finally, if you're hunting for a cheap apartment, you can actually create fake competing offers to use as leverage to get your rent down. But be careful.
So the rest of the clip that he basically shared, and yes, this is by Sam. I feel awful that because I want to be considered as a bandit from the Paper Model series that I forgot what video it was that I downloaded from that video, but his channel is Sambucha, okay? It's ironic how he basically have the same man that's mirrored that you see that sitting on the couch, right? It's supposed to be a hotel lobby when clearly you can see basically the black dress shoes. Think about the bowling shoes, right? That are overlapped over the table. And I don't get about the R&B recording thing. That's kind of weird though. I just know that in my state, depending that you're from, I'm not sure this is true though, you can record conversations when it comes to, let's just say, telephone calls. I think as long as you're in my state, right? Because we are one party consent state, you're allowed to do that. I'm not sure how it's like in other states because when I used to talk to Darren, a great viewer of mine, basically I would ask permission because he lives in a second party state, which is California. Again, this is not for, let's just say, filming in public. This is for, let's just say, recording on smartphones. I'm not sure that's true though, okay? I just find that law really interesting. And I wanted to share this because I've always find it fascinating of how a handful of these YouTubers would talk about AR-related stuff. And another video that Sam basically took about is him breaking up thumbnails, which is another issue that I have with YouTubers, right? Not just the stock images, but basically the U-images, which is YouTube images. I actually invented that word. When you use weird thumbnails that are not Photoshop, right? You can definitely tell it's AI because it's a green screen and basically they make these images look really big in a realistic way when it's not real. It just feels really uncanny. Also, I'm not a fan of Brent Rivera that Sam was reacting to. Also, I did crop out to that previous video that you see so that you can see it better, right? Also, I cannot stand Mr. Reek. I cannot stand him. He does not get chased by a shark. I don't get it, you know? Okay, oh my god,
So this woman is a huge K-pop star. I mean, she has everything. But then she loses it all. Why?
My glob, I was about to talk about right. So basically, his is an awesome example of why this is how you should use AI. Okay, so I like to call it the comic AI. Is when you basically like to do storytelling and you do use basically celebrities or characters to tell a story. And again, an AI is not a great thing. 92.69% of the time. But let's just say the 7% of the time, if you basically go to the path that the Ray path, then I will support you for that. Because what you see here is how Ray, he basically was talking about this Korean singer that basically died by suicide. It's really tragic, by the way. For anyone that knows K-pop, especially Dumbell, you probably have heard of her, right? That he spent in the beginning. I forgot her name, sadly. Of how he basically would show AI images of these characters. But they don't look like plastic, right? It gives a little bit of that rough, let's just say, comic book-like effect. And also what I like about Ray as well, okay? This is why I think I prefer people using this type of AI. Not the one that's the still images that you see Sam using, right? Is how you would add sound effects and make them having a little bit of texture. It makes it seem a little bit less about AI. Even though it's more like Photoshop, but it's not Photoshop, right? I'm not sure that makes sense.
Her name's And Guhara is 8 years old when this story starts, living in South Korea, and unfortunately for her, her parents are having a lot of problems in their marriage. And then, one day in 1999, the worst happens. Her mom just leaves. Like, she abandons her and her brother without telling them why or even saying goodbye. And that's it. They never see her again. Even though she only lives a few miles away, she never visits, she never calls, and she eventually signs away her parental rights.
So what you witness, this is not his whole video because the video is kind of long for being considered as a short, even though it's not a short. It's just because it's portrait mode, right? Vertical, not landscape as in it's a full screen because you see the black parts, right? Basically, what I really like about Ray is that it focuses further. What am I disable?
All these wheels not compute. All these wheels not compute.
My love, Deon, drink your best. My bad book is a trusted down early model. It runs on Alcapatin, right? Which is a 3.4 gigahertz. It was full of storage. So this MacBook does not fluctuate because obsolete. And also, I'm trying to talk a little bit faster and not as sluggish because I know people's attention spans are terrible. Please pardon me for that, okay? The thing is, basically, what I love about his videos is that he does it in a comic book form, right? And what I mean by that is he basically just adds sound effects, okay, trying to, let's just say, do impressions of these characters to make the story more realistic, which is what I really adore about his videos, right? Because Sambucha, he only gives off still images, and it just seems more personal to the character that we basically could at least maybe relate or at least know more about, which is what I really adore from him. You know, that's the type of AI that he uses that I basically like. Now, there is one more type of AI. This is supposed to be video game AI. Not mistaken for how people say AI as a you fight against computers. Growing up, in my term, as in Selenio slang, we basically named them CPUs, right? Computers, right? Or in the Japanese version, it's comps, right? COM, all capitalized. I don't know why people say AI. They're just CPUs, right? Computers in the gaming system. Now, I basically did... Well, you can see the name, but if you can see it, I'll give them credit of their username, and let's just say above the iMovie Maker trademark. I can't get rid of it, and it's supposed to be a video of me reacting to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate if the fighters were AI. It is really dreadful if you basically cannot stand AI or you have a phobia of this, right? Because it could be uncanny. I just want to give a little warning, and you're viewing this at 3 a.m. Okay, quote, Patrick eating a Krabby Patty, then I suggest that you would be away until you hear, or you can just have the audio and hear me reacting, because it's a little horrifying. Okay, I was really creeped out, I just wanted to share that. Smash Million roster, oh, that clip. Ew, gross, so gross. I'm not Popeye right now. Ew, it's what happened tomorrow on DK. Why is DK like Sonic the Hedgehog? Especially at the temple stage? Yee, this is so creepy. Honestly, no, this is the AI that I do not support. And part of me, the quality may be lagging a bit. Also, why did DK's grandma's house transform into an ape and Link just morphed into Fox to becoming a fox, and somehow Link is a woman, even though I'm into trans rights, but that's not how being trans works. Trans is not AI, and somehow Link and Giga Bowser is a weird Triceratops dinosaur, and why is Samus those robotic toys that you think about those play fighters from Toy Story? And why is Link running in the back of the stage? Also, thumbs up for Skill Hall for this, even though I don't really support AI like this. It's so cool to see just how AI is like. It's so scary looking. I don't like it. Ew, why is it timer all glitched? Why is there a 4 next to the 2? And the Buddha, not for the ice climbers, not for the ice climbers. Ew, ew. Why is Popo, and not to mention the icon, why is it 02? Ew. Honestly, and ew. Black DK with some uncanny bears. This isn't We Bear Bears, and oh my Buddha. I don't know how to explain for Yoshi to have an uncanny face and DK's body's reversed, and I think I've seen enough. This is not AI. You be kidding me. Ew! Why is DK having his hands over his head? This is a Super Monkey Ball. Oh my Buddha. Ew! Why is there a weird drumming cymbal thing? And why is that this isn't Curious George? And oh, not this stage, not the Brinstar. Ew, 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 ew. Why is Quarry infused with the stage? And no, not Goomba from the Trophy Tussle 2. The eyeballs goes up and ew. This is so gross. Ew. Did Falco's AI just multiplied? Basically multiplied an orb. Oh, ew, 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 ew. My autistic brain, Deon, you're a little traumatized, or AI tries.